it's just me today. Anne and Megan had to catch their flight back to Paris, which was much earlier than mine, so today is me alone in Berlin. My flight's at like 8:30 p.m. today, so I have something like 8 hours to kill before I have to leave for the airport. So I'm going to go on the other walking tour of the main sites, just so I can say that I've seen them, if nothing else. Grab lunch. I don't know what I'm going to do with the afternoon yet. Maybe I'll go to a museum. I haven't decided. I'll probably ask the tour guide what he or she recommends. So it might be meant to rain this morning, so bit of a bleak day perhaps, but making the most of it. That's how we do. And today starts with Tourist Central. So.
Jewish lives lost in the Holocaust around.
Okay.
A building called the Reichschancellery, Hitler's headquarters. This here was once the Reichschancellery Guard, and in 1944. How many buildings can we see around us that survived World War II? Yeah, not many. 1.8 million artillery shells were fired on Berlin by the Red Army. Expecting to see like the Great Wall of China or something, aren't you? Some huge structure. Take a look at it. It's just a wall, not even a very tall wall. Yeah. But actually, there's a lot more to it than just this one wall. Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah. The buildings during the bombing raids, and then eventually put back on in the 1980s when these were completed. You can see the friezes on either side look very modern. They were done in 2000. Minister came and gave a speech in front of around 30,000 people. He said how no longer will Germany tolerate the works of people of an un-Germanic spirit. Okay, Jewish writers, communist writers, homosexual writers, anyone who doesn't fit the Nazi ideals has their books burned here on the street. And with the burning of those books, that's the end of Germany's reputation in the world, you know, and one that even today, you know, it struggles to get beyond.
One thing that I can notice about Berlin, tour's over by the way, one thing that I can notice about Berlin is it's just so spread out. It's like, Anne looked up the square footage or something, and it's like 9 times the size of Paris. Like maybe twice the population, so really big. Right, so this place is called Hotel Adlon. PAL, apparently like the most expensive hotel in Berlin, and I think they said it was from that balcony that Michael Jackson dangled his baby. So, fun. I went back to the Wehrmacht building. High school history teacher would kill me if I didn't go back to get a closer look. One other thing to notice about Berlin is there's so much green here, so many like parks and trees and little gardens and stuff, and I am in the middle of the city. I'm like 2 minutes away from the Brandenburg Gate. And the Wehrmacht is just, like, you can see it, right there. It feels so odd to have this just, like, expanse of green in the middle of the city. And I mean, like, Paris has some parks, but there's so many, like, green spaces here, which is, I guess, because the city's so big, they can do that, which is really nice. But it's just kind of mind-blowing. I'm not used to it. Yeah, I think the plan for now is just kind of wander around a little bit, see the, old headphones in, and just kind of looking at things without necessarily having to interact. Probably going to get some food at some point. And then eventually I'll have to go back to the airport. And then back to World as we know it. So, oh yeah, I don't think I said, I really liked that tour. I liked that tour a lot more than the one we did yesterday. Like, it was kind of a lot of the general history of Berlin, like the really, really basic monuments. But the stories were really interesting. The tour guide was really clear and concise in the storytelling. He was really, like, I want to say efficient with his language, but he said it in a way that was very understandable, made a lot of sense, and didn't feel overwhelming, as opposed to the tour from yesterday, which was just kind of, like, rambly and felt like a lot of talk about not very many things. I feel like I understand the city better after this tour. And maybe that's because I prefer, like, 20th century history to, like, graffiti talk, personally. I'm now going to look at a monument, and I'm not quite sure what it is yet. Guess we'll find out. Okay, so, not quite sure what he is, but my context clues are sickle and hammer, writing in Russian, years during which the Soviet Union was involved in World War II, and other various symbols. So, and then, nope, zoom out. Cannons and tanks. Which, actually, if you look at the tank here, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a red star there, so I'm guessing it's something about the Soviet involvement in World War II. Educated guess, could be wrong. Okay, I couldn't understand any of the Russian. I can understand, like, maybe a 10% of this, but I'm thinking, camps, German fascists, Soviet Union something. So, I knew it! English on the other side! Okay, so, is this any oppressor? Well, German soldier, I believe, based on the helmet, being very demonstrative with his hand. So yeah, it's pretty. Hey bud, what you doing? Are you alive? Maybe not? Oh no, you moved. I just had an entirely unnerving experience. A bird just, like, skimmed my head, like, down over my head. I was like, are you trying to steal my sunglasses? Because if so, you failed. But still, I didn't like it.